The old man suddenly turned his wheelchair around and slammed into the oncoming nurse. Taking advantage of the nurse's distraction, he quickly reached out and snatched the medical syringe. Then, under the cover of her old friend, Ellie secretly slipped into the bathroom and finally climbed out of the window with all her strength. Although she had been paralyzed for decades, she had developed an incredible arm strength. Her floral clothes blended perfectly with the plants on the outer wall, fooling even the gardener trimming the lawn. Ellie then struggled her way up to the third floor, aiming directly at her ex-boyfriend, Miles. Since Miles already suffered from heart disease, Ellie had purchased a bunch of castor beans online in advance, extracting ricin poison from them with the syringe she just stole. She only needed to act while Miles was napping to quietly finish him off. However, every elderly resident in the nursing home was equipped with a health bracelet. Once it detected a stopped heartbeat, an alarm would go off. Fortunately, Ellie was never one to follow the rules. She never charged her bracelet, so on the monitoring system, she was always marked as deceased. Now, by simply swapping bracelets with Miles, she could create the illusion that he was still alive. Next, Ellie just had to return the same way, and she would have the perfect alibi. Even though there was already a long line outside the bathroom, her friend was guarding the door. When the director finally lost patience and pushed the door open, Ellie was already back in her wheelchair. The final key step was to find another chance to swap the bracelet back. That day, the nursing home organized a trip to the zoo. Ellie and her friend quietly slipped away from the group and found a secluded corner. Only by using electric shocks could they simulate the illusion of a sudden heart attack. But since Ellie was paralyzed from the waist down, she didn't have to worry about losing bladder control. As the red light on the bracelet flashed, the nursing home's monitoring tablet also issued an alarm. Miles was in critical condition, and the nurses rushed over to perform first aid, but the man had already been dead for nearly an hour, so everything was in vain. On their way back from the outing, Ellie and her friend brushed past the corpse. Behind their sorrowful faces was uncontrollable joy. It was normal for an old man to suddenly die in a nursing home, so no one suspected murder, and naturally there was no autopsy. The nurses thought Miles' bracelet had simply run out of battery, so they casually placed it back on the charger. Ellie had already anticipated this, and when no one was around, she swiftly swapped the bracelet back. But then, something unexpected happened.